We're here with another episode of Before You Buy. You know that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing? Well, today we're talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Now, both myself, Tom, and Andrew have been playing the hell out of this game since it dropped. We're going to break this down by modes since each is pretty much its own fully featured standalone thing. But overall, in the whole package, do you hate Call of Duty? Well, you're probably still going to. Are you a diehard fan? Well, I'm not, but the game seems pretty good to me. And if you are like me, who has been a fan from the beginning but dropped off the multiplayer train for the last few games, well, this feels like a pretty good package. Except the package is missing a goddamn single-player campaign, but I'll get to that. Let's start off with your standard competitive multiplayer. I like having a health bar again. Call me old-fashioned, but it feels good to have something like that to manage. I think the fact that now it's a mechanic that you have to work into your muscle memory makes a big difference in moment-to-moment gameplay. Shooting, though, otherwise feels like Call of Duty. Love it or hate it, it's tight, it controls really well, and it's super, super fast-paced. It also feels the same as usual. But the specialists work out pretty well this time. The focus on them is just enough to not feel obnoxious, but also add a smart level of strategy. It bums me out that you can't customize them from head to toe with clothing items you earn through leveling up. But seriously, learning the ins and outs of them is pretty fun. It takes light elements from hero shooters in terms of mechanics, but let me be clear, this isn't like a hero shooter like Overwatch or anything, don't worry. But certain abilities just work really well for certain situations, whether to defend yourself or to counter or screw up your opponents. It's just satisfying when you use the 9-bang stun grenade perfectly in a room, or you let your cool dog do all the work, or you get a downward slam explosion, or you just fortify your shit really well and block off some lanes. On the other hand, maps have a nice kind of standard Call of Duty look to them, nothing crazy and over the top futuristic, with some good close quarters sections and creative areas too. I'm not an expert with map stuff, so I don't know how they'll work out long term, but some scenarios and lanes feel creative enough to me. Now, progression is still the best in standard multiplayer. Building out your class is an absolute necessity, and there are tons of challenges and levels to grind through for perks and lots of weapon stuff. That pick 10 system is still great. I really, really love it here, and I'm glad it's in here this way. You have a lot of control over how you play, considering you have to choose a specific character, and I'm so glad that it feels this way. Grinding through the ranks is Call of Duty as hell as it's been since Modern Warfare, and you'll probably get addicted. Body armor is a selectable thing that is shaking up things a lot. It pissed me off on occasion, but it just makes the game feel a teeny bit different. People seem to be kind of divided on it, and the game and the community will evolve over time, so I don't really want to say anything too definitive on it yet. But look it up, know it's out there, and it might change the way you play a little bit, because some guys are going to take some extra shots. So really, it plays like another Black Ops, but it does enough subtle things to freshen it up just enough. Is it going to bring in new players? I don't think so, but it might bring back some players like me who thought things have gotten a little stale in recent years. But is it going to keep me long term? Is this like my go-to multiplayer game? I don't know. But of course, that's my personal opinion. That's just like a matter of taste. Because then there's zombies mode. Jesus Christ, there's a lot here. Multiple different time period scenarios, tons of new and honestly pretty awesome enemy types, some decent progression, and lots of challenge. It's framed in story scenarios, and they're kind of fun and goofy, if a little bit forgettable, but it's still a nice formula. The Titanic map scenario thing is just so goddamn awesome, though. I love the tight, close quarters because it looks cool, but it also gets hard as hell. The perk system seems a bit weird. I don't know how crazy I am about it here, but between that and the elixirs and the weapons, there's just a lot to chew through. Sorry for that really awful pun. But then, of course, there's Blackout mode. This is Activision's attempt at that whole battle royale genre, and right off the bat, it's way more PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds than Fortnite. And as a PUBG diehard, I am way okay with that. Overall, I am genuinely impressed with Blackout mode. It's kind of technically, like on paper and the way it looks a little bit at first glance, a ripoff, but it has some innovations and quality of life improvements coupled with vehicles and some great encounter areas that make it feel damn fresh. It's a good take on Call of Duty gameplay. Wingsuits really help with that too. And little things like auto-equip attachments are a thing of beauty, but vehicles especially are so much fun with friends, and you're gonna need them because Blackout is challenging. It's the most challenging part of this whole package. I think the Call of Duty formula translates over pretty well, but it's still incredibly intense, and you're probably going to get no-scoped by a 12-year-old, so just be warned. There are kinks to be worked out, of course. I've seen a lot of bugs and a few weird spots, as well as some tweaks to the user interface I'd like to see. Also, the third-person emote stuff is giving players camera advantages of being able to peek around corners, and that needs to be fixed. That's kind of a strange oversight. I don't know what happened there, but still, I'm impressed with how well this mode is and how quickly they got it out to the public. That's quite a feat, man. I definitely wish there was more progression though. Considering the other modes have tons of grinds all over the place, I'd eventually like to see Blackout have a bit more stuff to work towards. And so far, in all modes, we've been playing over here on PC, PS4, and Xbox One separately, and all with not really any matchmaking issues. I've heard a few complaints of long waits on PC, but we haven't really seen much on our end. Also, don't miss that Specialist HQ mode. It's really like a glorified tutorial just to teach you how to use Specialists in multiplayer, but it's segmented with some pretty interesting and well done cutscenes. It sure as hell does not at all make up for a lack of single player, but I really appreciate the nods to Black Ops lore and stuff. I got kind of excited. But I'll leave this as my final, kind of petty note. I really miss having a single player campaign. I always play them, and I always love them. I get why they ditched it this time around, but with all the modes, this still does feel like a solid, thought out, complete package, but I just would have preferred one with a campaign. Otherwise though, this is another Black Ops. It's decent. If you like Black Ops, you're probably gonna like this. But also, you should know, Blackout mode is the best part, and I think regardless of how you feel about the games as of now in 2018, it's worth trying out. But of course, that is a before you buy. I give you some pros, some cons, and with this one, a lot of personal opinion thrown in. So now I want to hear from you guys down in the comments how you're feeling on Black Ops 4. Maybe you're on the outside looking in, you haven't picked it up yet. Maybe you're watching your favorite streamer play it. Or maybe you're a diehard who plays these things nonstop and you're already on track to Prestige. Whoever you are, I want to hear your opinion on this game down in the comments because there is a lot to digest. Whatever you're thinking, let's hear it. Also, consider subscribing if you're new and clicking that notification bell because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Pick them off. Abort mission. Breaker, abort breach.
Lucy, you will live to see a better world. Your mom had to. She died for what she believed in.